People across the nation, including New Yorkers, are wondering what a second Trump presidency could mean for them. J.C. Polanco, an attorney and assistant professor at University of Mount St. Vincent, joins me now to discuss some of these questions that are lingering here the day after the election. J.C., good to see you once again. With the outcome of this election, are we looking at a historic realignment for our country?
Oh, absolutely. I think we're seeing it. We're seeing it in New York City. We're seeing it around the country. We have the working class of all races and ethnicities, for some reason, have now coalesced behind the Trump coalition. We saw it here. We saw it play out. It's something that transcended race and now gets right into class. There was a time when Democrats could rely on making sure that they had the union and the working class folks in their corner. And we didn't quite see that this time around. Kristine, another thing we saw, large numbers of Latinos across the country joined the Trump coalition. We saw it in New York City, and we definitely saw it across the country.
So was this just a messaging issue for the Democrats, or is there something clearly broken within the party?
I think there's several things. I'm an independent, so I have to tell you, there's several things that I saw as blind spots. First, we have to remember that there's a crisis in the Middle East, one in which Vice President Harris had to walk a very delicate line because she had two important groups in the Democratic Party. You had the Jewish support as well as the Middle Eastern Arab and Muslim support that are part of the Democratic base. Walking that fine line hurt her with both sides, I believe. Second, you had the issue of the economy. People were feeling it, although the numbers don't show that our economy is awful. But people were told that it was, and people were really believing that they were having a very tough time with the economy. We saw a migrant crisis where up to 15 million people are in our communities. We don't know who they are. President Trump drove that home, and we saw very little action take place from the White House for quite some time as that was happening. And many people in New York City were concerned because, as you see, Kristine, here in the area, you hear from New Yorkers. Who are these people and what's happening here? What's going on? And we saw President Trump take advantage of that. And another thing that I think that we have to remember is I think America was numb to the bad news coming in from Trump. We saw the indictments at the federal, state, and local levels. We saw the constant bad news coming. We saw General Kelly, whose longest-serving chief of staff, say this guy admires Hitler's generals, but by that time, America was already numb to bad news coming from that side regarding Trump, and everything was baked in. So it doesn't seem as if any more bad news, anything negative that you can tell us was going to resonate. And we saw that happen yesterday. I'm still shocked that the numbers were so lopsided in favor of former President Trump, now President-elect Trump.
Absolutely. Let's talk locally about Proposition 1. It passed overwhelmingly here in New York. This was a lot riding for Governor Hochul, for sure. But what does that mean for New Yorkers? Many people that criticized Prop 1 said it was just too broad.
It definitely was too broad. Let me tell you, I understand the need and the knee-jerk reaction to try to put abortion in the Constitution. But Proposition 1 doesn't even mention that, Kristine. Proposition 1, I believe strongly, many other New Yorkers do, even if it passed, fine. But it was really about protecting transgender rights in New York and making sure that trans kids aren't discriminated against by localities. We saw that as a reaction to County Executive Blakeman's position in Nassau County in trying to block trans kids from competing against biological females in sports. And that's really overly broad, but it does one thing, Kristine. It makes Governor Hochul look very strong because there was a lot of opposition, but she won Proposition 1 overwhelmingly. And that helped Democrats in places across New York where there are a lot of Republicans because they told New Yorkers abortion is on the ballot and it's in Proposition 1. And we saw it work in the Molinaro district upstate. We saw it work in other parts of New York, especially in the Syracuse congressional district. So there, and in Long Island. So Governor Hochul gets to say, I got that done, and I got people to the polls with Proposition 1. So kudos to Governor Hochul on that victory.
All right, J.C. Polanco, thanks for taking time of your evening with us. We do appreciate it. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having me.